Hey Scorpio, welcome to Zero's Journey. Thanks for stopping by. I'm excited to read for you. I'm Madeline, if we haven't met before, and we are right about to get into what is the story for you in July. Which role are you playing? What pitfalls and potentials lie ahead and behind? And how you can move in the direction you want to go most gracefully. So before we get into the story, let's talk about your mission statement for the month from Spirit. So before we get together, I do some praying, some shuffling, some tuning into your spirit posse, whoever wants to show up for all of the Scorpios that are going to listen to this. And they give me a channeled message. This month, they wanted me to go ahead and pull a card for you from the Threads of Fate deck. Your card is higher perspective. So your mission statement for the month is not to be drawn out of yourself by strife or spite or even the simple joy of being able to cut somebody off at the knees who deserves it. And that's funny, but that's what Spirit is saying. So essentially, Spirit is asking you to zoom out. Zoom out. When we are focused on something, really zoomed in, really passionate, as a Scorpio tends to be. If you're spending time with someone or on something, it's because you give not just a fuck, you give all the fucks about it, right? And when we give all the fucks about something, we can get a little myopic, we can get a little tunnel vision, right? And so if something happens, the person that we care about has to blow us off or turns out to not be such a nice person or whatever, if we are that zoomed in and something like goes wrong or whatever, we can really be thrown by that. We can lose our center, as Spirit was saying, like that somebody or something may be like there may be a temptation to be drawn out of yourself and into doing or saying something that is, good vengeance, but not great, Spirit's like, not great, not great like publicity. So it's interesting, but Spirit is saying, like, don't be drawn into doing something that you won't be proud of. Essentially, it might give you that fun little like, haha, fuck you. You might get a little of that, but I feel like Spirit wants you to be operating from that higher self place. They're talking about being like a tree. Now bear with me. Trees don't age like us, and there are some trees that are like thousands of years old. And when you think about being a tree like that, like, wow, I've seen so many things. I've seen beautiful, easy days. I've seen hurricanes. I've seen tornadoes. I've seen ice ages. I've seen heat waves. I've seen everything. And therefore, there's kind of a peacefulness. There's kind of a surrender. There's the wisdom, the quiet, powerful wisdom of, I don't get swept away with things, like I'm rooted. You know what I mean? And it's interesting, but Spirit is saying, like, the only way to get a higher perspective is to be rooted. Like, to get that high, you would have to be rooted, or you'd have to be disembodied. And we don't want to be disembodied. We're here on Earth. Like, I'm not here for, maybe you've never listened to one of my videos before, but I'm not here for like good vibes only, love and light and nothing else. Nah, fuck that. Underworld and shadow and flesh and mess and earth, and we're fucking here. We're here to be embodied, so I'm not trying to skip this level. I'm not trying to jump in a fucking warp fucking pipe, all right, and get to the next level. No, I'm trying to do Earth, all right? That's what we're here for. So you got to be rooted to have a higher perspective. Let's go with that. And let's get into the story for your month. Let's talk, Scorpio. What do you want to say for Scorpio this month, Spirit? Scorpio Sun, Scorpio Moon, Scorpio Rising, and Dominant folks. What do Scorpios need to know about the month of July? What events? What characters? Wow, these cards are jumping. What situations? What challenges? What potentials? Wow. Lie ahead for Scorpio. What do they need to know, Spirit, this month for their highest good? What do you want to offer them as far as insight and energy and awareness for their highest good in the month of July? for Scorpio. Scorpio sun, Scorpio moon, Scorpio rising, Scorpio dominant folks. What do they need to know? Please, Spirit. For their highest good. Spirit is saying 3 more. Okay, you got it. Let's go. Ooh, month of July. What's the story? You've got a lot of cards. Spirit's got a lot to say. Okay. Scorpio. 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 In the month of July. For their highest good, Spirit. Okay. Yes, we love to see it. Bear with me, Scorpio. I will pick up and show you everything that I'm seeing. And that's interesting. I'm curious, Scorpio. Feel free to let me know in the comments if any of you, have any Libra placements in your chart. Libra sun, Libra rising, Libra moon, or otherwise. And if, by the way, if you don't know your chart and you were like, I don't know what any of this language means, I have linked a free birth chart generator down in the description, so you can put in your birthday information. Wow, Scorpio, we're going to talk about it, and find out all your info there, and learn more about yourself. It's really cool. Wow, yeah, some of y'all definitely have Libra placements, because there is some truth speaking, there is some breakthroughs, there's some letting go. You have some great allies. You have some great allies around you. And I also want to say, Scorpio, on a real fundamental level, you're very attractive right now. Like, I know, Scorpio, right? Like, y'all have a reputation for being magnetic, being attractive, being, generally smoldering. But Spirit is being very upfront about, I want to say, like, use this, kind of like strike while the iron is hot. So it's like, of course, these are general readings, Scorpio. So it's like, so for those of you that are single and looking, it's like, this is a good time to be publicly smoldering, or just doing the little extras for yourself so that you feel smoldering. Because never forget, like, it's so much more about how we feel on the inside. Like, we can be looking at the most, and this is what Spirit is saying, okay? We can be looking at the most, like, aesthetically beautiful person, like, just gorgeous, like, perfect, right? Like, from the outside. And that person can still hate themselves. That person can still, like, they can slouch, they can act like an asshole, they can do things that make them less glorious. And Spirit is asking you to be as glorious as you are. Glorious. Queen of Cups, your future. Queen of Cups, Queen of Water. Scorpio is a water sign. You showing up at your most magical, your most compelling, which is the word Spirit is using, because that's what Scorpios are. You are compelled to call me. You are compelled to get the fuck out of my way. Like, compelled. You have energy. Strong energy. And I feel that some of you all are doing what fixed signs can tend to do, which is trying to hold on to control. And I feel like that's why Spirit is giving us that higher perspective card and saying, like, hey, zoom out. Like, you might feel like the best way to make things change or make things improve is to control them. And actually, Spirit is saying, like, the opposite is true. And I'm not, listen, there's no judgment from me. Zero. Like, hello. It's the whole name of the channel. We don't do that here. Like, no blame, no shame, no judgment. It's not about that. It's about recognizing. It's about, like, being a little curious and being like, are there places in my life, like, where I feel needy or clingy? And again, it's not about judging or shaming ourselves. It's like, you know what? I can be clingy with my boyfriend or with my money or with my things or whatever. Like, maybe I don't like it when other people talk to my friends or whatever. Scorpio things, right? Like a little bit of possessiveness, a little bit of maybe jealousy or insecurity, all the same, right? Because all of it is like, what if they love that person more than me, or what if whatever. Like, and Spirit's like, you want to tend to this within yourself. A higher perspective, like Spirit said, requires being rooted. where you find yourself at this moment. Scorpio, Two of Swords. Spirit is saying that like this is analysis paralysis, right? This is like, I've been thinking about this thing for so long, or trying to make a decision about this thing for so long, that like I don't even trust myself to make a decision anymore, is actually what Spirit is saying. And that's relatable content. That's understandable. It's like, and you may not recognize that consciously. You might not be like, I don't even trust myself to make the decision anymore. It's just like, why am I hesitating? Why am I hesitating so hard? Why is this such a difficult decision or move to make or answer to give? And I want to give you this reassurance that I do think that by the end of the month, like maybe as you're heading into August, I feel like you do speak the truth. We'll jump right to the future, okay? We'll jump right to the quote unquote key and conclusion of your whole reading. So you may find yourself right now in the Two of Swords situation of like, which way do I go? Which thing do I do? How do I make this decision, or how do I make this move? Then by the end, Ace of Swords, when you are honest with yourself about what you really want, what you really like, what is a yes for you, what is a no for you, you make the choice, or you speak the truth. And I do feel that it has to do a little bit with letting go and moving on, for a few reasons. Here's one: the potential, the Fool, deciding to be like, fuck it, in a divine way, a divine Zen, fuck it, I'm going. Fuck it, this feels right. I'm gonna go ahead and let go of the baggage, right? She's only got her teeny tiny little backpack, got her little Walkman, she's good to go. Like, that's all I need. Like the tree. Like, the tree has seen so many things and has been through so many things, and yet the tree, you know, its marks are carried within. It doesn't assemble objects or things around it. It carries its wisdom inside. We can see its wisdom from its size and its shape and all of the creatures that it supports and nurtures. And Spirit's talking about you that way, Scorpio. You nurture and take care of a lot of things, a lot of people. Queen of Cups. Nurturer, creator. You can be, by the way, a man or anywhere on the gender spectrum and show up as a Queen of Cups. It speaks of deep sensitivity, deep empathy, deep compassion, an ability to, and also Spirit is actually really hammering down on the great access to creativity, because it's all the same. The spirit and the soul and creativity, the like creative impulse comes from the soul. It's because we have a soul that we want to create and do and be. Spirit wants you to feel a little more free to be yourself. I hope, Scorpio, that you are not like boxing yourself in or getting in line so that other people will like what it is you do or who it is you are. Most Scorpios, I wouldn't feel the need to give that kind of warning, because Scorpios tend to do what they want. But some of you all have such a strong sense of duty. And for those of you for whom that resonates, like, you know what, I am choosing to like live with this parent because like they don't want me to go. Not because I don't want to go, but because they don't want me to go. If you need to go, then you need to go. That's just what I'm hearing. Again, no blame, no shame, no judgment. Nobody's shoving you out the door, and you don't have any towers here. You don't have any surprises. These things are within your choice. But Spirit wants to offer you more. The center of your reading, Six of Pentacles. What's hovering above? This is where I was talking about boxed in. Maybe I feel like I don't have enough. Maybe I feel like I don't have room to move or maneuver or shift and change. Maybe it's like, how do I make that change? If like, where do I find the time? Where do I find the money? Where do I find the space to do that? The universe is trying to offer you the money, the time, the space to do that this month. And I want to say, Scorpio, give what you want the most. If you want love, give it. If you want support, give it. If you want money, give it, you know? I don't mean to go full cliche here, but this is where Spirit is taking me. Gratitude is really important. That's part of that higher perspective, that zoom out. So it's like, let's come back to that tree that has lived through ice ages. If a tree has lived all the way through an ice age, and think about that, that's an age. That's decades and hundreds of years, perhaps thousands. If you lived through an ice age and now you were living in a time when it was like, between 75 and 90 degrees outside all the time, there would be a consistent backdrop of gratitude for that. It wouldn't be about obsessing about the time you once lived in an ice age, but it would be like, oh boy, it's nice not living in the goddamn ice age. A backdrop of gratitude. That's what Spirit is saying. Six of Pentacles is giving and receiving generosity. And Spirit is saying, again, give what you want the most. If what you want, and this is something else they're saying, if what you want is for someone to see your creative work and to give it praise, go out and seek other people's creative work and give it praise. If you want to be, and this is so interesting. I love talking with Spirit. They're using this other example too, okay? So for those of you that may feel some degree of like insecurity, or maybe like you sometimes see the way that other people, the way they look, or the job they do, or the lifestyle they have, and you maybe feel a little jealous. Maybe you get into a little bit of comparison and you start to get a little down on yourself. Spirit is like, let's transmute that. Let's zoom out that shit. Let's higher perspective that shit and be like, the fact that I noticed that means like that's something that I want. And so instead of reacting by contracting away from the thing that I want or the thing that I appreciate or would like to have, I'm going to consciously open to it and, leave that beautiful woman a nice comment, or send, thanks and appreciation for the person who's living the kind of lifestyle you want to, and thanking them for the inspiration. Like, do you know what I'm saying? A little bit of transmutation, a little bit of like, I'm gonna stop punishing myself with what I want and start like letting it be a propellant. That's what Spirit is saying. Like, instead of a punishment, a propellant. You deserve your own compassion, your own love, your own obsessive devotion. The beautiful obsessive devotion that you give to the people and things in your life that you care about, Scorpio, you deserve. Appreciate your wildness. The lion inside, the beast inside. Again, as Spirit was saying earlier, if you ever get a little jealous or possessive or vindictive or, all the Scorpio, quote unquote, negative qualities, right? And what do we mean by negative? We mean they make people uncomfortable, or they make us uncomfortable. We don't like to be seen that way. We wish we were other, blah, blah, blah. Well, we don't want to cage or beat or kill the lion inside, because the lion inside is the same thing that comes out to protect us. Yeah, sure, like we might have some inconvenient and misplaced rage sometimes, but if we talk with our lion and we lovingly, consensually train our lion, the lion is us, our pain, our trauma, our triggers, etc. If we train and learn from them, then we become all powerful. We stop taking things, and this is Spirit is saying this is important. We stop taking the things other people say and do to us personally. We start recognizing, because we recognize like our own wounds, like, wow, I just said a really shitty thing about that person, and really it's because I'm a little jealous of them, or whatever, or I think they shouldn't have that and I should, or whatever. Scorpio, one of your best qualities is that you don't turn away from the ugly or the animal or the wild. You know what I mean? You're not one of these signs that's like, no, I want it all to be pristine and perfect. You're okay and aware of the mess and the fact that things like grow from the mess. Spirit is like, honor your mess. Give great compassion to the wisdom that comes from your mess, because that's a wisdom that nobody else can have. That's only yours. Like, that's your stuff to work with. If you don't already watch the vlogs that I have on this channel and you want to hang out with me, there's a vlog all about your stuff, like your trauma, your triggers, your shit, right? The stuff we all have in our background, the not great stuff, and how it shapes us and gives us our superpowers. For real. Superpowers. You are being given new energy, new love. Spirit is saying, like an injection of life and excitement and passion this is crossing your reading. Ace of Cups, like new love, new energy, forgiveness, release. I'm hearing release and purge. So some of you all might do some really productive crying or really productive like venting or therapy this month. Or if you're not already doing that, this would be a really good time to like schedule that. You know, schedule a meeting with a therapist, schedule a tarot reading, maybe read your own cards, like make time, create a sacred container. That's how Spirit wants you to think of it, for knowing yourself. Because it's like Spirit said, like if the only way to have a higher perspective is to be rooted. So what is in my roots? Like, how have they been tangled over the years? And like, where do they want to spread out more or curl deeper? Or are there weeds encroaching on my roots that I need to pull? Like, is there a person or a relationship or a self-belief that is threatening to choke like the life out of my dreams or my self-concept? Listen. Spirit getting real deep today, Scorpio. It is Scorpio reading. It makes sense that they would be deep. Spirit wants you to bring something to completion and release. If part of your identity is tied up with this thing, like, you know, for example, oh, I don't want to leave this job because at least like this job has like a really good title and I like being thought of as a fill in the blank, or like, fuck, but this relationship, like I don't want to be single or divorced or whatever, like I don't want that to be like my identity. Look at the reasons why. That's what Spirit is saying. It's like, don't even worry about like, what should I be letting go of or blah, blah, blah. It's like, if there's something in your life that feels a little off, it's like, let me look at the reasons why I keep doing this, or why I keep this person around, or why I stay in this situation, or whatever. What is it giving me? And just be honest with yourself. It's a higher perspective. It's like, okay, I've been thinking, what does this take for me, or what do I hate about it? But I haven't made a change yet. So what is it doing for me? And even just simply looking at it from this different perspective can kind of like loosen some energy up and allow these new epiphanies and new understandings and new resolutions to kind of arrive. Okay? So not holding on so hard, not trying to protect yourself by staying in control, because like Spirit said, ironically, it's the like letting go of the need to control. It's letting go of the need to like, it's like, I want to give you some credit, Scorpio. Some of you, it's like, I want to protect the people around me and like they need me to do that, and Spirit's like, no, like, be with yourself, surrender, speak your truth. If you are doing something because they need me to, then that's not a good reason. If they need you to and you want to, great. If they need you to and you hate it, no. You know what I'm saying? Do you? Am I making sense? Does any of this make sense, Scorpio? Please let me know in the comments. I'm very curious, I really am, about if this makes sense to you, if it's bringing up questions or stories. I would love to hear and speak with you in the comments, so let me know. And if you want to go further, if you want to hang out more, I've got a Discord chat where we just hang out in community and talk about whatever. Link to that in the description. Or if you want to book a personal reading, you can do that there too. There's lots of stuff you can do if you want. Yeah. All right, Scorpio. Thank you again for listening. I really hope that this is helpful all month long. And if I don't see you in any of the Sunday vlogs, then I hope I will see you in your August reading. Bye, Scorpio.